Right. See, good afternoon, all. Yesterday, just we have started chapter number 2, that is load flow analysis or power flow analysis. Load flow analysis or power flow analysis. And already we have discussed some points related to that load flow studies. Okay. Now, today we are going to discuss those topics in detail, right? So, for that purpose, I'm going to present my PowerPoint presentation here. We just go through this. I think it is visible now. Okay. Now, power flow studies are the load flow studies. Power flow studies are the load flow studies. Both are, see, power flow or load flow studies. Both are equal. There is no difference between those two names, right? Now, so before going to see that, what is the necessity of learning the load flow studies or power flow studies? So yesterday we talked about some points and some issues related to the load flow studies. So basically, as far as the power system is concerned, load flow is an important problem to be considered, and load flow solutions. That means we are going to determine what is the real power, what is the reactive power, what is the voltage, and what is the current at a particular bus, right? Okay. So now we are going to see some important points to be noted here. What is the necessity of learning? I mean, what is the necessity of studying the load flow solutions? The first and very first point is the information that is obtained from these load flow studies is used for continuously monitoring the present state of the power system. So obviously we have discussed this point in detail in the last class. The information. So what is the information that you are going to obtain from the load flow studies? The real power, reactive power, voltage, and phase angle at a specific buses. Okay, and you are going to obtain those parameters in detail in this particular load flow studies or power flow studies, and you are going to use the same information for continuous monitoring of the present state of the system, right? Now, these studies help us to plan the expansion of the power system. So what is the main purpose of having the load flow studies or power flow studies? Why? Because we are using this information to expand the existing power system. Okay, for the future expansion, we are going to use the same data. And the information obtained from these studies help us to reduce the system losses and also improve the system stability. That means the info, whatever may be the information we are getting from these particular load flow studies, that will help us to reduce the transmission line losses. So whenever the transmission line losses have been reduced, means obviously the system stability have been improved. Okay, so from these studies, we are getting the information about the voltage, phase angle, real power, and react. Just now we have discussed that what is the information that we are getting from the load flow studies. So we are getting the information about voltage, phase angle, real power, and reactive power. Okay, so this is the main information that we are going to have, right? Now, electric bus and its classification. Now, what is an electric bus? So, electric bus is just nothing but a node. So, a bus is a node at which one or many loads and generators have been connected, right? So, first of all, we are going to discuss every time we are talking about bus in this particular chapter, load flow analysis or power flow analysis. We are going to discuss about the bus. So that's why it is also very important to know about the electrical bus. So electric bus are a node at which many loads or generators have been connected. Okay, and at the same time, it is also not necessary that all of them are connected to a bus. Okay, suppose if you are considering some generators or loads, there may be they are separated. They are not necessarily be connected to the electrical node or a bus. So what are the variables that are associated with the bus? Suppose if you are considering an ith bus, the variables which are associated with that particular ith bus is given by V, delta, P and Q. Now what is V? Voltage, delta phase angle, P is nothing but active or real power, Q is nothing but reactive power, Okay, that are the parameters that are associated with a particular bus. Now, these buses, so in your power system, you are having n number of buses, and all those n number of buses are comes under these categories. The first two categories reference or slack or swing bus, generator or PV or voltage controlled bus, load or PQ bus. Now, these three are very important buses. So, out of n number of buses, the first bus are the very largest generator bus in the power system have been considered as a reference bus or slack bus or swing bus. And the remaining n minus 1 number of buses have been considered as the two buses. That means generator or PV bus or voltage controlled bus or load flow or PQ bus, right? Okay, now we shall discuss these three buses in detail now. Now just go through this reference bus. So you can call this reference bus as a swing bus or a slack bus. Okay, so in your power system, now just you go through the content. In power system, one of the buses is selected as a reference or swing bus or slack bus. Okay, whatever it may be, whichever bus, I mean, reference bus or slack bus or swing bus, you can call it as any way what you like. Okay, now already we know that four important parameters that are going to be defined at that particular bus. So V and delta are specified. That means voltage and phase angle are at that bus are specified, and P and Q. So that means the real power and reactive power has to be found by using some techniques that we are going to discuss later classes. Okay. So out of the four parameters, I already told you that four parameters are very important. At each and every bus, you will have the information regarding two parameters. Okay, so for reference bus, V and delta are specified, P and Q are unspecified quantities that are going to be determined. Okay, now the next one. What is the need of selecting reference bus and slack bus or swing bus out of n buses? So what happens if you are not considering the swing bus or slack bus? See, that is the very important point that we are going to discuss now. What is the necessity of selecting the reference bus or slack bus or swing bus? The losses in the system remains unknown until the solution is complete. Okay, so you are not going to have the information regarding the losses until the load flow solution is complete, but that is not acceptable. So that's why you have to consider one of the generator bus is take additional real and reactive power loss. That means you are going to assume one of the buses have been taken the additional loss powers that will supply the losses to the system to complete the load flow solution. So that's why that additional bus what you have taken to complete the solution is nothing but a slack bus or swing bus. So if you are not going to consider that, or if you are not going to assume that slack bus or swing bus in the power system, obviously your power system power flow problem has not been completed. So in order to supply that additional loss powers, obviously you have to take that bus as a reference bus or slack bus or swing bus. Now obviously the voltage at this bus is assigned to be 1 per unit and the phase angle is equal to 0 degrees. So these are specified. Okay, specifically we are mentioning these parameters at that particular slack bus or swing bus. So whenever we are considering a slack bus or swing bus, obviously the voltage at that bus is equal to 1 per unit and the phase angle is equal to 0 degrees. And the largest, so just now I told you that, sir, we have n number of buses in the power system. We have n number of buses in the power system. So how can we choose the reference bus or slack bus or swing bus? That is also very important. So how can we choose? So the largest generator that is nothing but the largest generator is considered as a reference bus or slack bus or swing bus, and which is designated as bus number 1. So these are the parameters that are specified at a reference bus or slack bus or swing bus, right? Next one is generator bus. So this bus has always generator connected to it. So generator bus, what are the, see, don't worry about too much. You have to know what are the specified parameters at a reference bus or slack bus or swing bus and unspecified parameters at that particular bus. And similarly, for the remaining two buses also, you need to have the information. What is the required? What is the information that is specified at that particular bus, and what is the information that you are going to have, that you are going to obtain by using the methods, computer methods. So likewise, in this particular one, generator bus, the bus in at this particular bus, a generator is always connected to it. Okay, so thus Pi comma and Vi are specified, and Qi delta I need to be obtained. So the specified parameters are P and V, and the unspecified quantities and parameters are Q and delta. Similarly, for the load bus or PV bus, the specified parameters are P and Q, and V and delta are to be obtained. So this is about the buses, the various buses that we are going to have in this particular subject. Right now, you need to write down. See, I will give you some time now. From this point onwards, that means the static load flow equations onwards, everything must be recorded. That means you have to note down all the things. Now, in this particular case, again, I am considering an N bus system. Already we have seen this type of N bus system in the last class, and we are also assuming some points here, some positive sequence, assume some positive sequence power system, and also by neglecting the mutual coupling between the elements of a power system network, and also there is no regulating transformers. See, these are the assumptions. Without having these assumptions, we cannot solve or we cannot obtain the static load flow equations. Okay, so again, already we have seen that. So in the next slide, we are going to have that. So this is the N bus system. So in this N bus system, we are considering two buses. This is the ith bus and this is the kth bus or nth bus. Already we have seen this. So we are going to assume that phase angle and also the magnitude. Suppose if you are considering an ith bus magnitude is considered as Vi and the phase angle are delta I. Similarly, the kth bus voltage is nothing but magnitude of Vk and the phase angle is delta K. Similarly, the impedance which is connected between the two buses is having some magnitude and phase angle. So delta I, delta K and gamma Ik is nothing but the additional phase angles that we are going to assume at each and every bus. Right now, see here. So this is the figure. Okay, now please again redraw the figure. So give a heading static load flow equations, and again consider you have to note down all these things. Okay, so I will give you 2 minutes time for noting all these things. Try to complete as early as possible. And after all, please try to draw this figure also. Okay. Now draw this figure also. So for a typical N bus power system, which is drawn like this, already we have drawn this we have considered the same system for obtaining the Y-bus formation using direct inspection method, right? Okay. Now next see here, the current injected into the ith bus is given by, just wait a moment. Now you see here. So already we have considered that I is the current that is entering into the ith bus, that is entering into the ith bus. Now already we already know that the generalized expression for that is given by. So you will have total n number of equations that will comes into the picture. So k is equal to 1 to n. So Vk into Yik. So that already we know. So this already we have seen in the last chapter, that is the formation of Y-bus using direct inspection method. But in this particular case, already we have assumed that, so this kth bus is having some phase angle delta k. That means now you just see here. So Vk at an angle, this is our assumption. Already we have, initially we have taken these assumptions. Now mod Yik, so this is modulus, magnitude and phase angle. So mod Yik mod Yik at an angle of gamma Ik. So mod Yik at an angle of gamma Yik. Okay. So if you multiply these two, obviously the magnitudes are Vk into Yik and the phase angles gets added. So you will have delta k plus gamma Ik. Gamma Ik. So where I is also varying from 1 to n. I is also varying from 1 to n. Now, already we know that the complex power, so we already know that S is equal to Rp plus Jq. This already we know. The complex power can be written as S is equal to P plus Jq. So, here I am considering the complex power at ith bus. The complex power at ith bus. The complex power at the ith bus. So Si is equal to Pi plus J into Qi. So if you consider the complex parameter of this one, obviously you will get a negative here instead of positive sign. This you can also write it as Vi conjugate into I conjugate. Now I am going to explain why we are considering the conjugate. Why? Because here you can also have both expressions are valid. Both expressions are valid. Don't worry about too much. So this is also valid, or you can also consider this as Vi multiplied by I conjugate. Vi multiplied by I conjugate. Is it okay? So Vi multiplied by I conjugate. You can have any of these two equations, but instead of considering this one, we are now going to have this one. Why? Because I conjugate. So if you consider I conjugate means, obviously see how complex the equations are to be. How complex the equations are to be. Why? Because you are going to change each and everything minus delta k minus. So some type of confusion may occur if you are considering this one. So obviously now we are going to have this one instead of this. So simply you can have this VI conjugate multiplied by IA. So why? Because already we know this, and you are not going to change the signs of all these quantities. So just we are going to simply change the sign of VI. Now you see here what is VI. Already we have taken that VI as mod VI at an angle of delta I. At an angle of delta I. So simply you can change the sign of this. Obviously you will get this. So V mod Vi multiplied by at an angle of minus delta I. So substitute Ia is equal to this one in this equation. Okay. So sigma k is equal to 1 to n Vk multiplied by Yik at an angle of this one. That's all, right? So if you multiply Vi conjugate with Ii, or let us see what we'll get. Now you see here. Now you see here. So please, all of you, carefully note down all these equations. This is only just we are directly multiplying the equations. So later we are already we know that SI conjugate is equal to PI minus JQI. Later we are going to compare the real parts and imaginary parts on both sides, and obviously we are going to write down PI is equal to this one, QI is equal to this one. So these two equations are called the load flow equations. The load flow equations. Please try to write down carefully. First you write down this one. I will give you 2 minutes time, and later the next slide is also there. Okay, so with that we are going to conclude the session for today, right? Please note down. I will move on to the next slide after 2 minutes. అదే అదే